Hi, my name is Lance Sherwood. I'm a pastor at Communion Church here in San Diego. We launched the church about 7 years ago and have been through a bunch of transitions and change, but we ended up, through the generosity of an older community in Claremont, merged and received a building in the process. Our mission here at Communion is, we like to say our name is our aim, and we really believe that the transformation, the seedbed of transformation happens in the presence of God. And so we're called to be in communion with Him and communion with each other. Our mission here at the church is to launch resilient disciples. I really believe that's the goal of the church at large. At our church campus in Claremont, we've got about 16,000 square feet in San Diego, which is amazing. The co-op really started out of a dream or a vision of trying to utilize church property, like something that is so tangible and accessible for a church to participate in. So we've got about 16,000 square feet of usable space, and I think in most cases churches, classrooms, rooms, parts of the facility really go vacant for like 6 days of the week. And so we're trying to figure out a way for the church to be sustainable. And not only that, but utilize the things that we do have to reach the city with Jesus. And so I always think of the parable of the talents, about someone bearing their treasure and not risking or utilizing what they have for the kingdom. And so here at Communion, we're really trying to dream, to risk a little bit, trying to figure out how to utilize all the things that we've been gifted and steward it in a way that reaches the city. So there is currently on our space a barber shop. Misi launched a couple years ago. There's a music school. Erica has been running that for a long time and moved here recently. There's an after-school program that just launched. There's a preschool that just launched this year. There's a tattoo place, and we also house a number of ministries and nonprofits. There's 3 other church ministries that use our space, and World of Leaf is here as well, and Chick-fil-A. And so those are kind of a little small community in the neighborhood that we've created through these business opportunities. This year we received a grant from Manna. We're incredibly grateful for their generosity with us. We use those funds to finish renovating 2 of the final rooms that we have available for businesses. One of them is vacant currently. We're still in conversation with a salon owner who's looking to launch out of the space. But the one that has launched is the after-school program. Jen and Kat are launching the program to really reach out to families in need of tutoring or after-school programs to help their kids through education. And so they've launched this year in April and have really seen some small areas of growth in their spring break program and their summer programs, really integrating into the school systems that are around here.
Yes, so this is the After School Clubhouse. We're an after-school program. We have a focus on tutoring, mentorship. We do STEM projects. We also want to put an emphasis on community service, so we do fun little community service projects. This community service project we had over the spring break was getting together like care packages for kids in Haiti, so the students worked on that during the spring break. But yeah, each space is kind of just a fun little spot for kids to just explore and have fun. We have our little reading nook, play area there, a little art station as well. So yeah, it's been really sweet how everything's come together. Just really wanting to be a resource for those low-income families. We think we're fundraising throughout the month of May, and we were able to sponsor 5 kids to have just a complete free 5-week summer camp for some of the kids that joined our spring break and stuff. So it's been great. Yeah, it's been really fun. Thank you guys for all the support.
As we've launched the co-op, I think some of the biggest places of impact have really been with these entrepreneurial leaders who have launched and risked a lot to start new businesses in the city. So we have a gathering that happens monthly with all these leaders. We come together, we pray, we have connections with for them with coaching or business leadership kind of development pieces. But what I really think has been developing that's been beautiful is just the connection between these business owners and leaders, finding community here, but also recognizing the space of generosity that this place offers. And so I think some of the biggest pieces of impact are kind of the light bulbs going off in these leaders while we've been gathering together and meeting and really integrating new friendships, deeper places of community, offering services to one another, and really, I think, growing as not only just business leaders, but as people who are following Jesus too. And And so I think those interactions with those business leaders have been some of the sweetest so far, as we've been really kind of new in launching this whole piece. I think for us as a young church, we've had the space to really pray and kind of discern what our city is really asking for. I think in general, a majority of churches are really wrestling with a few problems. I think they're wrestling with financial problems of trying to just create a budget that's sustainable, to pay a salary for a pastor or a staff team to help run and facilitate a church in the city. But I think we're also really rubbing up against problems with outreach. And I think older ways of outreach, kind of like build a stage, spend a lot of money on something and hope people come, isn't really working anymore. And I think the church at large is really finding the problem of influence in our modern culture. And so for us as a church here, we're trying to figure out, how do we create a church that's sustainable, and how do we create a church that is open towards the community in ways that can create meaningful impact and relationships. So for us, what we've really seen as a way to impact the city is by gathering people, leaders in the city, and launching their dreams and passions out of our property. And what we believe happens is, one, those leaders are given space to step into their callings, step into giftings, step into visions that they have for themselves and these businesses, and we've given them space to really grow and develop as leaders. And then these leaders are taking their skills and offering it to the city, and creating meaningful interaction points between people who probably would never show up to church before, but would come get a haircut or a tattoo or drop their kids off at preschool. And so for us is really trying to figure out a unique and sustainable way of doing church as we head into the next 10 years of what it means to do ministry. And as we go, we hope that the stories and interactions between this business and church space, it almost feels like two spaces. We're really hoping that these interactions really tear down this barrier of this sacred secular divide of really seeing that some people have sacred jobs and other people don't. And recognizing, as Colossians says, or even as Jeremiah 29 describes, is like God's calling us to be people who build homes and build gardens and settle down in specific places and have long-term impact in developing relationships with people who are far from God. And so we hope, as we develop the co-op and see more businesses flourish and develop, that there'll be deeper and further interactions between this church space and the city, and creating a space for the church to have a sustainable budget and not only survive, but also be generous with our space and money too.